Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of Sour Graps on a Tuesday, talking about NXT. It's a thing we do where Kate, you take over now?
Welcome to the NXT Sour Graps post show. It is the last day of February, people. We are swinging into March in like a lion. If you're an NXT fan, probably out like a lion too. But get in your super chats, get in your humper chats. Support us on Twitch at twitch.tv/FightfulGaming. Subscribe to Fightful Select. More news coming out of there. I'm sure there'll be more coming out of Revolution. Hopefully no post-show drama. Hopefully just great wrestling. But stay tuned to Fightful Select for that. Stay tuned for mine and Alex's. Is that proper English? I don't know. I don't care. It's wrestling.
No.
Our post-show behind the paywall will be reviewing Revolution, which I'm sure will go till like 3 a.m. because there's an Iron Man match on top of an AEW pay-per-view. And leave a thumbs up on the video. It's a free way to support us. It boosts us in the old algorithms on the old YouTubes. I don't know why everything's old, but
it's not old. It's old.
It's old stuff.
The old YouTube.
Oh, the old algorithm.
So tonight's episode was worlds better than previous episodes of Best in Weeks, Best in Months, maybe.
And it was
not
medium.
Not a high bar to clear.
No.
That's the problem with NXT, is that even when it has a really good episode, and also I fully expect next week the Roadblock to be a great episode because it's all in-ring stuff. Now, they very easily could book a bunch of shitty finishes because that's what they like to do, right?
Yes.
So that could ruin the matches next week. The matches we had tonight, a bunch of them didn't have those bad finishes. Correct. And what? Well, look at that. The episode's good. Like, it's one of those things. It's crazy. So Gemini season, tonight's puns. Here we go. Here's what I wanted to do. Big announcement for the Team KLX fans out there. Starting this Friday on the Know Your News YouTube channel, which is a sister channel of this one. Go over there and subscribe if you have not. A little known secret, apparently, is that Kate and I have been reviewing for 40 weeks, like weird movies, dumb TV shows, things like that, over there every Friday. We are starting this week to review those live.
Yeah, we are.
Noon Eastern. So, just like you all are the Fightful Faithful over there, I'm going to call the all Newsies. So, Newsies show up over on Friday.
Life. Working for the banner, it's a fine life.
Well, no, this is Newsies spelled with a Z in the middle, so it's totally different. It's not at all like we don't want copyright infringement here, Kate. So it's totally
but I still want to wear a Newsy Boy cap.
You can wear a Newsy Boy cap as long as it's a Newsy Boy with a Z in the middle. So yes, big announcement starting on Friday. We will be reviewing movies over there every Friday at noon Eastern. Eat lunch with us. It's a lot of fun, but we'll do it live in the chat. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay. This week we're starting out with a movie so bad that Whoopi Goldberg unsuccessfully sued the production company so she wouldn't have to star in it. It's a movie called Theodore Rex about Whoopi Goldberg as the city's toughest cop, partnering up with a dinosaur who wears tennis shoes. It's apparently as ridiculous as you would assume. It is free to watch on Tubi, tubi.tv. So if you'd like to watch it between now and then, so you know what we're talking about when we review it, go ahead and do that. All of that is to say, tonight's puns, movies titles, wrestling into movie titles, movie lines, whatever you want to do.
Movies. Theater culture.
Right. All that popcorn, whatever you want to do, like whatever it is. Movies.
Right. Maybe wait to watch the movie until you see. We do a fun thing of like, are you gonna keep the flick or are you gonna get the flick out of here?
Maybe
wait.
Yeah.
Baby white.
Yeah.
But Alex, before we dive in.
This is on the list, but I want to do it closer to when the new Super Mario Brothers animated movie comes out. Maybe we can compare and contrast. I'm not really sure. Anyway, yeah.
Ooh, one of us could watch one, and the other could watch the other.
No, I think I'm making you watch the one with Dennis Hopper in it. I'm making you watch that. All
right. Oh, so wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said to you before we went on air, and much to your point about clean finishes, I feel like when they try less with the show, it is significantly better. Say less, as the kids say. Like, if you stop trying to do stuff with endings and just let people win clean and lose clean, or protected but not goofy, it's just a better show. It goes from being unwatchable to pretty good. Like, I don't feel like angry about the last 2 hours of my life. And that we got a lot of that tonight. And just in ring wise, some of the wrestlers that you had in there today are just phenomenal. We saw the return of my favorite impression of the show. Very important to me. Nathan Fraser is back. Nice to see him in the ring today. Obviously, the main event we knew was going to be pretty fantastic with Carmelo and Tyler Bate. So, and of course, Meiko and Zoey. So when you have those 3 matches on a card, it's probably going to be decent enough as long as you don't screw up the endings or make it 2 minutes long. And they didn't do that. Right? So kind of feels like when they take their foot off the, I don't want to say foot off the gas, because it definitely doesn't feel like, oh my goodness, what an effort they're making.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like that. But when they tinker with stuff less, it's an easier show to watch, which I appreciated about tonight. Now, that's not to say we didn't get Joe Gacy. Pipe it into your education. Your kids' classrooms are being invaded, I tell you, by Joe Gacy, who's definitely not Bray Wyatt, even though they use the same motion effect. But there was plenty to be sour about, but overall a much stronger show, which, again, low bar, but I'd rather go in that direction than the other. I like when we get to say nice things.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Say something nice about our friends.
Okay, we got a bunch of these little super humper tests to start off the thing before we get into the show. Cam Watson says, just learned that cockfighting is done with chickens. Well, there you go. 12 months of training wasted. Happy Tuesday, everyone.
Did you get your dick in the dirt, as they say on AEW?
That is a joke. JW Pringle says, Team Kalex, Sisters of Cease and Desist, Papa Paul Elizabeth, all of the SGS family, much love to you all. That's good fun with a mess show. NCP says, good evening, Alex, Kate, and the entire SGS. Just wanted to get in early tonight. Back in the hospital with pneumonia again. NCB, no, get better. I enjoyed the stream last night and will be listening again tonight. Hopefully I can stay awake for NXT, but that's up to the meds. Listen,
that's up to creative sometimes.
Sometimes, man, I just mainline and caffeine ain't gonna do much for me. Jimmy Boutros says, love you guys. Never usually to get to watch live from the UK, but on holiday in Australia, so it's 11 a.m. the next day. Not a WWE viewer, but listen to all the sour graps every week for the 5-star Gabagool review. Thank you, Jimmy Boutros. Boutros, golly, thank you so much for being a part of this, man. I really appreciate it. It is so funny to me that people far-flung all over the world listen to our brand of ridiculousness every week.
We are internationally ridiculous.
We are. I was going to say internationally renowned, which we are too, but we're internationally ridiculous.
It's both.
Yeah, both.
Little column A, little column B.
Paul Elizabeth says, Team KLX, good luck. We're all counting on you. It's so true. Jambeard says, Alex, I gotta ask, are you a fan of Joe Cocker? What would you do if I sang out of tune? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Stand up and walk out on.
I'm sure. Why not? Joe Cocker's good. That one and Feeling All Right is also a great one. Yeah, no, I'm sure. I don't know his entire catalog, but I like him. I get
by with a little help from my co-host.
Tom LaValle says, happy Tuesday to my fellow Fightful sluts and the SGS. Yes. That was a thing a week ago. Let's keep that going. Why not?
I want t-shirts.
Yeah. So it starts out with a brawl backstage. Just random people punching each other, trying to get through the hallway because there's didn't you know, Kate? There's a North American Championship Open Challenge. And there have been a lot of open challenges over the years
There
and
sure
recently. There was even one, I believe, with there was one with the North American Championship held by Wes Lee like 3 weeks ago. Are we being led to believe that every time there is an open challenge in WWE at any level, unseen backstage, there's 12 guys punching each other in the throat and kicking each other in the dick, trying to get so the one guy who comes through the curtain every time is just the last man standing from that brawl? Because I'm going to call bullshit on that. And I don't know if they realize that, like, because this is my brand of OCD. Now you've rewritten the rules of what goes into accepting an open challenge. This is not like, hey, there's an open challenge. Adam Pearce, I'd like to be considered for that. No. You've got to like start throwing elbows at people's junk so you can get into the ring. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I like it. I feel like earn your open title shot, you bitches. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding.
I like it. It just then belies every open challenge we've ever had before. If these are the rules, then these have to be the rules from now on. There will never be another open challenge in NXT. I'll give you, it might be different on the main roster. In NXT, there will never be another open challenge ever issued by any champion where they don't start with people throwing punches at each other.
I was just gonna let you keep throwing punches because it looked real fun. Those are some Shane McMahon punches you're throwing over there.
The Shane McMahon punches are this. With the little noodle fingers.
No, this was silly. I feel like you could just have them start in the NXT parking lot and have to get to the ring. That's a great way to do it. Mm-hmm. No, this was ridiculous, and also the person going out for the open challenge should be somewhat maimed going into that match if that's the case.
Yeah,
I do appreciate. And I would say it's mostly failed. But I do appreciate that they've been trying to widen the scope of the way they execute things on the show. Like when they did the squabble between Braun Breaker and Grayson Waller, like that one actually looked pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And they've been trying new things. The Joe Gacy thing was real bad, but it was at least different. I have a lot more grace for creative stuff that takes a risk and fails rather than just stays in its own world and stinks. Yeah. This was stupid, but I appreciate they tried something different. But to your point, if nothing caused the brawl between 12 guys other than the open challenge, this makes it feel like every time there's an open challenge, not even for the world championship, by the way, we're talking a mid-card title. Like, then there should at least be, it needs to at least be as many punches thrown as the AEW locker room on a regular basis. Am I right?
Hey-o.
Huh?
Hey-o.
They're throwing punches. I'm throwing zingers, baby. Let's go.
That's right. Buzzing. So I thought this was fine. It comes down to Malik Blade and Idris Enofe, who can't decide which one of them gets the title shot. And then Dabba-Kato, wait, no, Commander Aziz, wait, no, Dabba-Kato again, runs through them both and then gets attacked by Apollo Crews and there's a brawl. And then Nathan Frazier runs out, jumps over both of them and into the ring to answer the challenge. We haven't seen Nathan Frazier since October. He comes out looking like Robin Williams jumped out of Jumanji. Like Like he has the full beard, and I was not expecting it. It does look like he just come. What year is it? Like it just felt good for him for coming back. Bob's your uncle.
Maybe he injured his shaven elbow. Maybe he couldn't.
That could be it. I ruined my own joke. I was going to do this one, Kate. Hey, Kate, I was going to do this. This is my fault for being ADHD. As I have my own bits that I plan and then I forget them along the way because ADHD.
Mhm.
My bit was going to be, hey, Kate, if your mother had a sister named your mother had a brother named Robert, well then. And then you would go,
Bob's your uncle.
There you go.
Hey!
See, that's great. It's terrible. That was not
Alex,
a good.
how you feeling over? Speaking of bits, how you feeling over there? You
Oh,
parched?
not great. No, yeah, just a little bit. Hold on.
Here you go. I actually got a water for you.
Oh yeah. Oh really? Thank you so much. I'm a little dry mouth. Hold on 1 second.
Here you go.
Oh, thank you. Okay, great. Apparently.
I went to check Fightful Select today.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I was scrolling and I saw the comments, and one of them was just, "What is this water bit?" Ha ha ha. And I was like, "That's it. I don't want you to think about it any more or less than that."
That's it. That's great.
I realized we could do things through the frames.
Yep.
I'm happy about it.
That's good. That's good. This match was good. Nathan Frazier. He has weird. I don't know about the gear. This is new gear. It's like dark blue and neon green, but it looks like he has grill marks on his butt. Like that was an odd thing for me with the gear. But other than that, I thought this match was great. Wes Lee, Nathan Frazier, that's a match made in heaven. Hey, if we're gonna do the thing that we all want, which is like a 6-man ladder match for the North American Championship at Stand and Deliver. How about Nathan Frazier's in there too? Because that'd be a lot of fun. He's great.
He is great. He is just back from injury. So, but they don't care. He doesn't care.
I believe actually he got injured in the last big scrum for the North American Championship on the ladder match. So yeah, put him in there again. Let's see what happens. Maybe the next time he'll come back and look like Gandalf. Just giant, huge beard. He's just forever. That may be it. I don't know.
I mean, if you were gonna refrain from participating in a match that they got injured in, they would just never be wrestling in any matches. So sure, they just tend to go extremely crazy in those ladder matches, but this was a whole bunch of fun. Wes Lee, I think, is starting to, in my head, be like one of those guys who should drop up and move to the main roster soon. There's just I think because he was a little bit ahead of the game, right? He came over from Impact. He'd already figured out a lot about how to be a professional wrestler before he got there. I think moving up could be a really fun. I think you can do a lot of good work right in the mid card.
To the Raw side, to a deluxe locker room in the sky. Moving on up. No, I agree. Wes Lee's great. Has nothing left to prove. The thing that becomes like, what role does he fill on the main roster? Where is he booked? What is he used as? My idea of that you brought up tonight of him and Ricochet forming a tag team and getting a run with the straps. It would be a lot of fun. Apparently they think that Braun is more of a good tag team partner for Ricochet, so that's what we're doing here. I'm fine. I'm fine with it. With seeing what they do with him here, considering I don't know what they'll do with him on the main roster. They can't seem to figure out what to do with most guys his size. So, yeah. Anyway.
Agreed, and I've got no problem with him putting on matches like this in NXT. It's just if we're thinking in terms of this is supposed to be developmental, that's what everybody says to me when I say something is bad. So it's developmental. This guy's developed. Move him up. But from what we saw tonight, what was in front of us, really, really strong match. Really strong match. Nice to see Nathan Frazier back. Nice to get that impression back. I missed it in our well of impressions. Not that it was ever fully gone, but like, when they're active and on screen, I feel like we get it back, and it's my favorite, and it's not yours. So that's just funny.
Exactly, which makes it even more fun for you. So, Izzy 05 with an awesome. We have a new addition in a few months' time. To the SGS family. Izzy saying, don't usually share personal information, but y'all are great. Found out earlier today my girlfriend is pregnant. Can't wait to watch Sour Graps with my kiddo. That's awesome. Congratulations, Izzy!
Oh my gosh, your kid's just going to be walking around with all these weird voices.
Yep,
your kid's going to be like, and they're going to be like, why is your kid a year and a half old but sounds like a 60 to 200-year-old woman?
I don't know.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
That's so good. That's so great. Awesome.
We need Sour Graps onesies.
Yes. Yeah. God willing, we're still doing this show several years from now, so the kid can actually know what the heck they're watching. So there's we get a JD McDonut video where he's like, have you ever had your retina detached? It's terrible. You got to go on there and reconnect all the blood vessels. That's awful. And that's what I'm going to do to you. I'm going to ruin your life. And I'm going to remember that time when I went in the audience and I asked how many people die every year eating popcorn. Well, that's going to pale in comparison to how torturous it's going to feel when I get you in the ring.
You creepy ass science teacher.
It's so
get out of here with this. They're putting up graphics like it's a science class video, like I'm in biology in high school.
Yeah.
I want to see your retina detached.
So we're getting Dragunov and McDonut next week, I think, on Roadblock. Roadblock is loaded.
More like loaded block of wrestling, am I right?
It's more like load block. But more like remember there was one year where they called it Roadblock End of the Line, and it was like not the end of the line at all. It was just
no storylines wrapped up.
Nope, nothing ended at all. Nope, not at all.
Nobody got called up. Was not a thing.
So Double Vest and the Beach are backstage. The Beach is really upset. See, and Double Vest comes in and says, "Oh my God, did you and Kiana break up?" "Oh no, nothing like that. I mean, I haven't talked to her since Valentine's Day, so I'm sure everything's doing great." Like, wait a minute. So you haven't broken up. You're totally fine. Things aren't going so great. I haven't talked to her since Valentine's Day. It's 2 weeks later.
Ago.
I don't know that this tracks. I don't know that this is a good thing. But Briggs is like, you gotta get everything right together. Maybe you should try wearing 2 vests like me. Right now, you're not wearing a shirt, and it's kind of uncomfortable. But maybe you should wear not only 1 vest but another vest. But we gotta shape up. We gotta go out there and beat up and do Sher. And so. Oh, he also says men are stupid and women are smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best thing they've said ever.
Yeah. Story tracks. Especially these men. I'll just say that. And a Sher versus
like men are from Mars and women are from Venus. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of like
when
we want to zig, they say no, zag. And then
he goes, but I want to zag.
But I want to zag. He's not good. This is not his forte. This is not what he should be doing.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, he should not. I can't handle the mustache.
The mustache is a bad mustache.
It's bad. It's not a good mustache.
No.
It
needs to be like, it needs to be more Hulk Hogan-y, because like it's just it tapers off too quickly.
Yeah.
Like he has light colored facial hair and it tapers off so quickly near the end that the most of what we see is just under the nose. And that's not a good look for a mustache. Like, unless you're at a Charlie Chaplin convention, and even then
questionable, yeah.
Even then, so I would say no. So Indus Sher beats Jensen and Briggs. Let me tell you how much I hated this bullshit. I look up, and because I barely watch these matches. I mean, it's double S of the beach. So I was handling something. So I looked up, and I see that Briggs is in Jensen's face. Like, you got to get your head in the game, man. And I was like, oh, I should probably like rewind like 45 seconds to see what Briggs is so pissed at Jensen about. Jensen is being beaten the hell up in the ring. He's been taking all the offense. He finally tags in Briggs. Briggs does 2 moves, and then the Beach like hits him, like blind tags himself in, and can barely walk because he's been beaten up so much. But they're apparently doing a move I guess they do all the time, where they like drop toe hold a guy into the ropes. Instead of doing 619s, they like both slide out of the ring at the same time and punch the guy on either side of the head. And Double Vest does it fine by himself, and he's able to punch the dude. But Briggs is so slow, he misses the move. And this would have all been fine, except I don't understand what the strategy was of Beej. You've been getting your ass kicked for like 6 minutes straight. I'm going to hot tag in, do 2 moves, and then you blind tag yourself in so we can do this really, honestly, middle of the road double team maneuver. How dare you not perform your half of the double team maneuver, which does not affect my half of the double team maneuver at all, after I left your ass in the ring for 6 minutes straight? How dare you do that? Get your head in the game. And then Briggs proceeds to get into the ring and get hit by Indus Sher. And because Jensen blind tagged himself in for no reason, so he takes the lariat, and Briggs doesn't get in and help him. I fail to see how any of this is Jensen's fault.
Yeah, this was not well agented.
No.
That like double punch to the head. I don't even know what you call it. It's just a double punch.
A double punch to the head. That's what I call it.
It's not like much better than Grayson Waller having to leave the ring to come back into the ring to do his finisher. No. It's also not if one guy punches him in the head, the other guy not being able to do it is like you still punched a guy in the head.
It's not like it's the Doomsday device.
Right.
Where it requires, like, if you get a guy on your shoulders and your teammate can't climb to the top rope in time to do the lariat, and the guy you got on your shoulders rolls you over for a victory roll and pins you, you have a reason to be upset. It's not like, oh, we're gonna do the 3D, right? Or now the 1D. I'm gonna do the point where I lift him up, and you do the part where you do the cutter, but you're not there, so all I do is the flapjack, which also hurts him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is just a dumb thing. It's a really dumb thing for
specific tandem offense for that trope to work. I also we haven't been thrilled about the creative or the acting behind this, but part of this is also just like, oh, weird. Is their tag team having dissension on NXT? No way.
I know they think they're being clever, because just as Fallon and Kiana last week buried the hatchet and now they're okay with each other and they're going to be the tag team champs going forward and everything's a-okay. Just as that is happening, now Briggs and Jensen are having problems. Oh, can they ever coexist? And especially now because at the end, Briggs comes up to the Beach and is like, hey, Beach, how about to take all this weight off of you, how about I go and have a private discussion with your girlfriend? How about I go over to her place late one night? Maybe I'll just text her, you up, and she'll say yes. And then I'll go over there, like, I don't know, 12:30. And I'll come back the next day after breakfast, and I'll tell you how it all went.
That's
and
not
the Beach
what's
is like,
happen.
That sounds great. What a great friend you are. No, it's absolutely going to happen.
No, it's going to be her brother's not her brother. She's going to have been cheating the whole time.
Okay, fine. That's fine. But this whole thing is going to set up whether or the whole thing falling apart.
Oh, for sure. But her brother, because she's the heel, right? She was cheating on him.
I still think there's going to be dissension because at least if this does not happen, Beej is going to be led to believe that it did happen. And that's what's going to break them up.
Oh, God, but they can't. I don't
Sure
know
they
if
can.
I don't know if I want to sound whatever, but the two of them as singles competitors don't have enough individual characteristics to make that work.
You know how HBK loves doing the same storyline? Just
yes, he has one playbook
at the same time. Just like, hey, while we're doing this, what if we also did at the same time the same fucking thing?
Hey, you know how we did a Dusty finish? Let's do it 3 days later.
So they're like, hey, this Gigi and JJ thing's going so great. Let's do it with Briggs and Jensen. It'll be great. No one will notice we're doing the exact same thing at the same time because we're out of ideas. No one's gonna notice.
I don't know if you could be out of ideas when you've only had one idea.
That's true.
It's really. And there's been a lot of times where I felt this way about Tony Khan's booking too, where I'm like, can we set up a feud that doesn't involve somebody cutting off Tony Schiavone in an interview? Like, you got to diversify the playbooks or things start to feel a little stale. That's not always easy, but the problem for me in WWE is not only do they have like not a deep well of playbooks, but they have one type of babyface in the process. So it's not great.
Yeah. Come on, I want to say. So this is Jambeard has a very good point, and I think we should get behind his idea because I think it's going to take off and make us the #1 NXT review show because we're going to get a lot of people, a lot of buzz on social media when we get this. So remember how NXT had index trending? I don't see that for Beej and the Accountant. Can we get Beej porn trending? Hashtag Beej porn. Hashtag Beej porn. Every time these two are on the screen, just spam Instagram and Twitter with hashtag Beej porn every time. And I think it's going to be really good for everything.
I don't know if Mattel's gonna get so mad at us. We're gonna get released, Alex. I don't want that.
No, it's true.
We're never gonna get Kate and Alex action figures. No Kalex 2-pack for you guys.
Anyway, after this match, after Veer beheads the Beej.
Yeah, he did.
With his lariat, which was awesome. Not awesome. Jinder being like, "Look at me, I'm wearing a turtleneck." I have decided that this feud with the Creeds should continue. The Creeds, you need to find somebody to team with you against the three of us next week. Who will you find? And I was like, Braun Breaker. They're going to find Braun Breaker.
Of course.
Kind of Braun has nothing else to do for Roadblock, so that's the guy that he's already had a match with. That's what they're going to do. But then they had us go through the motions of
Damon Kemp, right?
Yeah, Creed's going after Damon Kemp and Damon Kemp turning him down. And then Braun's like, hey, I'll do it. Why not? And Julius is like, you made me go through that whole thing where you could have just walked over here, which I also love because Julius Creed is the one guy who realizes Braun was standing 5 feet over there while we did this whole scene. Why couldn't he have stepped in earlier? That's the problem, though, because now Julius Creed has been made self-aware, and they're going to have to, like, flashy thing him. Because once the people backstage are made self-aware of the tropes of the backstage shit, then they got to go away.
Yeah, they pull out the battery on the robot. It's like, I was just learning to love, and then they die. I'm actually excited for to see Julius Creed and Braun Breaker and Brutus on the same side, I think that could be a really fun trio for a match. I guess we're just not even acknowledging Roddy Strong because they didn't talk about Roddy Strong at this at all, right?
I don't think Roddy's ever coming back. It
sure seems like not, or something's severely wrong, in which case I hope he's okay. But just weird to, it's like, Damon Kemp, don't worry about anybody else that might have been in this stable before. Nope. It's kind of weird, but I really want to see, like,
it should have been Ivy Nile, and she should have tapped out Jinder with her awesome, like behind her body thing that she does, where she reaches down this way and gets him in a headlock cool. Like that. That would have been the best thing. That's the optimum. But also, Braun Breaker and the Creeds look like they just stepped out of a frat and they've been friends for literally they honestly
the party.
They honestly feel like why have these guys not been like a thing before? Like, they're all the same age, they're all the same build, like they're just like they have the same haircut. Like, these guys absolutely go to the same supercuts every 3 weeks to get lined up, and that's it. Like, it's do
y'all have sports clips in the Midwest? They go to sports clips.
Sports clips? Yeah, I guess that's what they call it.
It's like the back
when haircuts were men. Yeah. Yes, there was a place like that in Milwaukee. I forget what it was called. It had like 3 locations, but it was only in Milwaukee. It was like a little local franchise, and it was like hot girls in like Hooters uniforms who would cut your hair while you watch sports. And it was like, it's for men only. And I'm like, come on, what the hell is this dumb thing? Yeah.
My goodness.
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited to see that trio.
Yeah.
I'm not so in on Jinder Mahal with Indus Sher, but I did want to say something about that lariat that beheaded him. Poor man. Rest in peace. This is something I love about Giovanni Vinci too. Like, fundamental moves executed really well. Oh, there's nothing better in wrestling. And this was a really, really good example of that. Like, and that's something that Veer, I think, just kind of has in general. But I say that all the time about Giovanni Vinci, where I don't know if it's fair to call a springboard a fundamental move, but like, it's not always something insanely acrobatic or wildly crazy. Like, an incredible suplex is awesome. Chad Gable showed us that, right? Like, I pop huge for stuff like that. I really like fundamental moves that are executed explosively and really well. Braun Breaker's spear, great example. But this was a great example of that with the lariat. This was just a hell of a lariat.
It was great. Jambeard reminding us something that is painful to remember, but it's Indus Sher and Jinder versus former WrestleMania Backlash zombies next week. Yes, all 3 of Braun and the Creed brothers were zombies who ate.
Is that true?
I know Von Wagner was. I did not know that Braun and the Creeds were. That is funny.
That's
and
amazing.
Terrible.
I'm in.
So let's do some of these awesome puns, because these a lot of these have been making me pop
because they're punderful.
They're punderful. So far, 46. You guys are amazing. When Kate met Reg, a Row story.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the easy, cheap plug. I get to review ROH, my favorite program in the whole wide world, and Eddie Kingston and Claudio seem like they have a thing, which makes me so excited. But yeah, Reg and I are going to do the first ROH post show. If it's attended well and supported well, we'll continue to do them. We have no idea what to expect. It starts at 7 on Thursdays, which is beautiful. I'm hoping they stick to their hour format, but please, please, please tune in on Thursday. ROH is my favorite thing in the world.
Tyrone Kid says, go ahead, Meiko my day.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. CM Popcorn from JW Pringle. CM Popcorn, very good. Chris Pereira says, Shamrock, Shakespeare in Love. Shamrock, Shakespeare in Love. Mr. Showtime says, SGS family, I have to be up early, so I'll finish watching this later. My pun for the night is the Shawshanky Redemption.
Oh, that's really good.
Skyscraping Shawshanky. Love y'all.
That's fantastic. A great movie, too. One of my favorite.
Meet Normus says Master and Commander Aziz. That's great.
That's
I like
really
that one
good.
a lot. Ryan Sullivan says Over the Edge.
Oh, beautiful. Right there.
Over this guy.
On this day,
I sweep cleanly. Everything has a just wash shine. Sorry, I have to do it every time.
You think
Every
you know
time
me?
I have to do it.
You think you know me?
The Junkyard Dogma from JW Pringle.
Oh, very nice. Of course.
Very good. Ryan Sullivan, Scott Hall Pass. Perfect.
Excellent.
Jambeard, Mad Max the Impaler, Beyond the Thunderdome. Jambeard says T2 Judgment Day. You're a bad father. Oh wait, no, but see, it's T2 Judgment Day, but it's actually starring Arnold, so it'd be You're a bad father.
Very nice.
Good. Luis Villarreal says Shooting Star Plex Cinemas.
Ooh, I like it.
Ricardo says Enter the American Dragon. That's good. Tom LaValle says Enter the Dragon. Bruce Lee?
Oh. Oh no, is that going to be a get the fuck out of here? Is
no,
it weird enough?
No, it's not weird enough. It's Bruce Lee.
I don't know.
It's one of the greatest martial arts movies of all time. Perhaps when we start our sister show, you got to see it. Then I'll make you watch that.
Yes, I'm so
too many
tired.
podcasts. It's too many podcasts. You do like 12 a week. Tom LaValle says Blade Trinity Fatu. That's 2 for 1, and Triple H 2.
Well played.
Because Triple H is in Blade Trinity. Have you seen Blade Trinity?
A
Triple
long
H is
time
in it.
ago.
He has a very brutal hand-to-hand fight with Ryan Reynolds. It's very funny. JW Pringle says Nyla Whispers. Wait, Nyla Rosebud.
Oh.
Very good. Very good, JW
Okay.
Pringle. Ryan
No,
Sullivan
chat,
says,
I don't watch Kung Fu movies. I'm sorry. I'm not up on Bruce Lee's catalog.
May Youngblood.
Oh, very good.
Ryan Sullivan. Henry the Casey, Butch Cassidy, and the 1-2-3 Kid. That's
Henry the Casey knows his movies.
Yeah, that's great, man. That is great. Chris Pereira, Legado del Fantasia.
I loved that movie as a kid. Oh my god.
Legado del Fantasia. I should have said that way, not Fantasia. It's not a.
Fantasia.
Yeah. Chris Pereira says over the top bay Suicida. Monty Python's Life of Brian Danielson from CO. JD Pringle says the Rocky Maivia horror show. His debut was a horror show, I'll tell you that much. Ryan Sullivan says Bad Newsies Brown.
Ryan Sullivan, this is a shoot, brother. Loves the Newsies. In fact, when you said Newsies in your tweet about Know Your News, he was like, if they're gonna tear apart Newsies, I'm gonna be so mad. But it wasn't.
No, that's what I'm calling the Fightful Faithful is here. Over there, they're called Newsies. The Chris Mueller says Chase you, me, and Dupree.
Nice, like deep cut on the movie front on
Yeah,
it too.
so true. God, what a terrible,
by the way,
name for a movie.
AEW pay-per-view coming up. That was from Chris Mueller, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bleacher Report might get a little glitchy.
It's true.
If there was ever a time to remind you who to fix it, at BR_Doc, he'll immediately fix everything.
Right.
You have to be nice to him online, or I'll beat you up.
Nerd Guru says there will be Bloodline.
Oh, writes itself.
Dave Berman says Alundra Blazing Saddles.
Oh, yep.
That's very, very good.
That's very good.
Ryan Sullivan says Andre the Little Giants.
I like it because it's a contradiction in it. So.
It's very good. Prisperera says Malik Blade Trinity. Well, we've already got that one, but then we got Malik Blade Trinity Fatu, even better. Ryan Solomon says George the Animal Steel Magnolias. Just picturing George the Animal Steel in Steel Magnolias. That's really funny.
Eating turnbuckles in that movie.
Ricardo says the Shawshank Redemption. It's a great one. I don't mind doing it twice.
Yeah, American
it's a great
classic.
One. Ryan Solomon says Gorgeous George of the Jungle.
Very good.
Mr. Showtime says Bob's Your Uncle, the untold story of Nathan Frazier.
I would watch.
Ryan Sullivan says Kevin Nashville Country Christmas. I'm assuming Kate saw this one. Nashville Country Christmas. Did you watch that one?
I think I did. I don't think this year. That's sad that they just recycle them.
Electric Mayhem says the Babadook Whackers.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very well done.
The Mr. Showtime says The Rock. Duh.
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
On the nose, but we'll take it.
Welcome to The Rock. Electric Mayhem says the Texas Rattlesnake Massacre. I love this one. Love this one. Jimmy Pringle. 61925. What a way to make a living. Jesse Ozog says Stardom Trek 2, The Wrath of Tony Khan.
Might be.
Tyrone Kidd says Mel Brooks presents Young Frankensteiner. Also, Alex's thoughts on History of the World Part 2 on Hulu. I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. It comes out next week. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I don't know. Yeah. Cam Watson reminding us that. Thank you, Cam, with a very nice donation, saying not a pun but related. In the Thomas Jane Punisher movie, Kevin Nash gets legitimately stabbed during the filming of his fight scene, but he no-sold it and they continued, and that cut made it into the final product. It's very true. Yes, it's a great fight scene.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah, it's a very nice. Yeah, it's very good. I like that one. Chris Pereira says the Deer Hunter Hurst Helmsley.
Also a band.
Yeah.
Fun as well. Should we talk about
wrestling? Teddy, the Longest Yard.
Very good.
Teddy Longest Yard. Toxic Attraction Avenger.
Very good.
From Ricardo.
Love it.
Nerd Guru says Break It Back Mustache Mountain.
Oh, a double.
Yeah, double one. Chris Mueller says The Shockmaster of Disguise. That's a rough one. Do you know that? Do you know the story of Master of Disguise?
I do know the story of Master of Disguise. I'm sure you'll be shocked to know I did not see it.
It might be one we have to watch for our show. It might be one we have to watch. I don't know. Drew Carey. Wow, Drew Carey. No, Dana Carvey. Dana Carvey plays a turtle man, and he is filming the scene where he plays a turtle man on the morning of 9/11.
Turtle. Oh, I feel like I did see this.
This one I like a lot. It's really good if you see it spelled out. Chinatown.
Oh,
so good, so good.
That's no
Tropic Thunder Rosa from CO. Dudley Boys in the Hood from Ryan Sullivan. Wonderful.
Excellent.
Ricardo, what about Bob Backlund? It's very good.
Oh my gosh, what about Bob?
Yeah, it's a
throwback.
Luis Villarreal, $1 Million Baby. Patrick Etheridge says Toxic Fatal Attraction, also very good. Toxic Attraction fun. Jesse Ozog says Edge's Spear in Love. Ricardo says James Storm and Andre the Giant Peach. Jambeard says Road Dog House. The Dark LA Night. Those are good. Mr. Showtime says, okay, now going to bed. Oh, Brother Love, where art thou? Brother Love in that movie is very funny.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, Jesus. And Breakfast at Tiffany Stratton's. Luis Villarreal.
Of course. Toodles.
Okay.
Breakfast Club.
We'll get back to more of those later. There's just too many of them. I can't keep doing it. Okay. So Grayson Waller was apparently a zombie as well in that particular thing.
Oh wow, a lot of NXT zombies.
Gigi Dolan cut her response promo to JC Jane's promo. It was inspiring and emotional and heartfelt. She talks about how the last person to betray her and beat her down like that was her own mother. And she made it out of there to prove to her younger brother that she could make it in WWE and we could make it away from her. It's a pretty really well done, well handled, well delivered promo from Gigi Dolan. It is, especially that they're going this way, the right call for her to be the baby face coming out of this.
100%.
It does make me go when she does this is the last time you're gonna hear that music ever again. That was stupid. I hated every minute I was in that trio. Like, no, you didn't. You loved it. It was great. Like, don't belie. Like, you had fun doing that. Don't try and retcon all of the shit that you did as a horrible person. We know what you did. Okay, we're rooting for you against JC Jane because of what she did to you. And now because of your story. Don't try and tell us that all that shit you did for a year when you were backing up Mandy Rose, that it was against my wishes. I didn't want to do it, but they made me. Like you were veering real close to that, and I don't want to do that.
No, we need more Kevin Owenses in the world of wrestling. Who's like, I'm sorry, I was a dick for that time period. Like, he's the best at it of anybody. He was like, I've learned the error of my ways, and then a year after that, he doesn't. I think it's important to the development of the character because it adds fun layers. But overall, this was great. If you don't know Priscilla Kelly, who was before Gigi Dolan, her ring name, there's a documentary out there if you're interested in finding out more about her real life. She is still very close with her brother. A lot of that was very authentic and real, which is why it translated well, I think. Shout out to any performer that goes out there and is that vulnerable about their life. And this was really, really well done. So, this was good. Like, this was a refreshing breath of fresh air in a world of extremely gimmicky things. To anything that feels grounded and real is really nice and stands out in a really good way. There's something to actually connect to instead of you can't connect to stuff that's so outlandish.
Yeah.
Say that for Zicky Dice.
Yeah.
You're going to be outlandish.
Speaking of outlandish, this actually starts out good with Duke Hudson, who you say on Twitter, and I have said since first time I heard him say anything in NXT, is the most natural talker they have. Just natural. Not
reminds me of Edge.
He's just the way he talks as a human being in a scene as a character. He just sounds like he's like, hey, Thea. First of all, how are you doing? I'm better. That's good. Second of all, I just wanted to say I'm really sorry for what I said and how I acted last week. I didn't mean it. And the way he says it, it feels real because it's not like he's like, hey, Thea, I just wanted to say I am very sorry for how I acted last week. So many of these guys in NXT just need, like, I don't know, 20 hours over the course of a week with an acting teacher who can teach them how to speak like human beings and read their lines so they don't. It's weird.
Why is my camera all blurry? There we go.
I don't know.
That's true all over the place, though, too, right? Like, I feel like Duke Hudson, his promos are rarely in the WWE cadence of promos, right? Like, there's not a ton of people who do that. Well, Cody's actually one of them, I think, who can speak in his cadence, and it's not conversational, but it works. Duke Hudson goes the more real sounding route, which is always my preference. You guys know who I like: Eddie Kingston, Kevin Owens, CM Punk. That's always what appeals to me. the fact that he's able to get away with it, I'm saying get away with it, in with NXT, both in promos and in scenes like this, I think is a testament to his work. As goofy as all the stuff he was doing with Cameron Grimes was with the poker game and all that, he was out there saying luck is for losers, which popped me as a Punk fan, but also was like, he's trying to root it in something real here, right? So I really appreciate him. This started off real strong, like you said, because he also was like, oh, I don't apologize. Thea Hale says, I'm sure Mr. Chase will forgive you for what you said about Chase U. And he was like, oh, no, that I stand by. And that kind of took me back a little bit. Like, this was good. And then, oh boy, did it take a left turn into Terribleville.
This was horrendous. Up on the screen behind Andre Chase comes the schism, the drizzling schism, as I decided to call him now. It's awful. It's truly the worst thing in wrestling television. Like, as far as a faction goes, my God, like, there's no redeeming qualities of this thing. It's not their fault who are in it. I want to put this out there. It just doesn't. It doesn't. None of it makes sense. I don't. It's so odd. And they're like, no, hey, remember how everybody loves all the spooky shit that we're doing with Bray Wyatt? You know how everyone loves that shit? Let's do more of it with a thing that's not nearly as good. This was
now I feel like they're pulling even, but yeah. What's rough is in some ways, spooky stuff feels all the same in a way, because it's the same idea of like, you're not operating in this world, it's presented in a certain way, whatever. Yeah. I felt like it was a little unfair for people to say like it was exactly the same as Bray Wyatt, because I think he was trying, especially when he was with Harland, he was trying something different. But when you do production like you did today with movie jump cuts and stuff, what do you think people are going to say? This was a dragonfly away from looking like a bad Bray Wyatt promo. I applaud anything that's trying to do something different. This is different than a lot of things we've seen, but it did not work. It just did not work. If they're trying to invade the classrooms of the youth or whatever, that's not what came across today. This was really, really rough. It just feels so stuck in the mud to me. And then they always end it with those Party City looking masks. That's just, it feels like a bunch of high schoolers in 1992 found their dad's camcorder and then went out there and did this. Like and they were like, yeah, and then we're gonna do a skateboard tricks reel after all of this. Like it does not feel professional. It does not feel cohesive. It doesn't feel like it's getting them over. It doesn't feel like it gets their opponents over. It's just from where I'm sitting feels very stuck in the mud, unfortunately. Because there's some good performers in there, man. There really are. I've seen Joe Gacy do great work. But this was not great. this was rough. And I think cooler production could have helped it, like if it was executed better, but this felt like a spooky home movie instead of something that felt disruptive. And it is also hard because like Chase U, I've turned more of a corner on than you, but completely acknowledging and understanding that it's silly and it's corny and whatever. When you have that contrasted against Spooky World, now you're doubling up. Because you're asking me already to buy into a layer of Spooky World there's another barrier there. And now you're putting it against something that's like corny. It's like, well, I'm already trying to make this feel less corny in my head or whatever. So this just didn't work for me and it's a bummer. I really kind of was digging how it started. I was just hoping this was going to be a Duke Hudson play from the beginning. And it ended up, of course, being a schism one. But I loved the first couple seconds of this and then went right off the rails for me.
Yeah. Luis helping us out here. After this segment, a shampoo lawsuit ad aired on my stream. That's the target audience. Did you lose your hair due to some terrible shampoo? Well, join this class action lawsuit. Well, you will win $12.
So-and-so and so-and-so. Call 1-800 so-and-so. Call 1-800-horse lawyer for your tort law needs.
So they've decided to, like, a jailhouse street fight. Listen, we all know I despise Joel Pearl. I hate everything he stands for.
Of course.
But he's right about this. There are no streets in a jailhouse. A jailhouse street fight doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't work that.
That is correct. And you like Joel when he's right about when NXT is bad. So we could say that.
I do. I am right. I like that.
That's the only nice thing that will be said about Joel Pearl ever.
Yeah. No. He's right about this. But it's not really a jailhouse street fight. They're calling it that. It's an ambulance match, but instead of an ambulance, it's a jail cell.
Right.
That's literally what it is. It's like you beat each other up as much as possible. Everything's legal. Hit each other with chairs, do whatever. But the match isn't over until you throw somebody into the jail cell and lock the door. The same thing with an ambulance match, which they've already done. They're doing it now with Tony D and Dijak. The match should be fun, I guess, but like those matches usually suck because how many times is one guy going to get thrown into the jail cell and then something stops the other guy from shutting the door? 4, 5, and like that. That's
especially when you have a lackey, the handwriting is so on the wall.
It's just like at least twice. Dijak throws Tony D in the jail cell and Stacks stops him from closing the door. At least twice. Because that's just I mean
there'll be a crowbar. Tony D will use a crowbar to get out.
Just do a Falls Count Anywhere hardcore match. Just do that. The gimmick of putting a guy in the jail cell thing, meh.
If you have a jail cell handy, save it for your parking lot, felons. I
don't know. Meiko Satomura versus Zoey Stark was really great because of course it was. It's Meiko Satomura and Zoey Stark, who is like the most technically sound and knows what the hell she's doing, like veteran they have on the roster. And then they brought in Meiko Satomura, and they kicked the shit out of each other. And Meiko Satomura won clean. Perfect. Isn't that amazing? When you put two talented, knowledgeable competitors in the ring together, let them kick the shit out of each other, and then book one of them to beat the other one clean. Isn't that amazing how a good match tends to develop when you do that?
With a definitive ending that makes sense to the greater story it's serving.
Yeah.
Just do that a bunch of times. I felt like Zoey Stark was like, I got somebody I can dig in with now. Like she's been waiting for this match.
She really has.
And my God, like Meiko Satomura is a legend for a reason, and it was on full display today. They were laying in hard. Those kicks, man. Those strikes from Meiko. I was like, oh my God. That is not a fun. Call it fake all you want. My goodness. They hit hard tonight. This was really, really fun to watch. Roxanne on commentary was fine. I don't feel like she added a ton, but I don't feel like she detracted at all, which I think this is like her first or second time doing that, and she's next to Booker T and Vic Joseph, so she did well with that. She kept putting the focus toward the title, which I felt like was a really good thing. Appreciated Booker T calling back to kind of the dojo scenes that we saw last week, which was actually good stuff from him. But I barely was paying attention as much as I love Roxanne, because this match was real fun to watch.
Yeah, it was great. Jam Beard talking about this jailhouse thing. He says the Mountie better show up, because he always gets his man. So that'll be good.
That would be great.
Yeah, Makeovers is always great with Roxanne on commentary, getting to talk about how, she says, I was made for this title. This title was made for me. Things like that. She's a confident champion. Good for So there, I did actually really like the framing of this. Sometimes NXT does something that feels so groundbreaking, but is honestly just obvious. And everyone else in all of WWE should do stuff like this. They were, whatever her name is, Mackenzie, was interviewing Nathan Frazier in the trainer's room about his first match back. And Casey Catanzaro, whatever her name is now, runs in and says, hey, to the trainer, you got to come out to the parking lot. It's windy. And they run out, and Mackenzie says to the cameraman, you better go follow him. And the cameraman goes out with them, and we can see Wendy Chu, who's clutching her elbow, and the trainer's like, what a great reason for the cameraman to be there, because he was doing something else, but then the on camera talent says you should probably get this, and they went. That's a great reason. Like, every time you do something where there's a camera backstage and there's a reason for them to be there, as opposed to, I am filming this and the people who are on camera think no one else in the world knows what's going on. Like, every time you do that, it just takes me out of it. Like, I hate that. Like, the camera is there. You know the camera is there unless the camera is filming something else and something's in the background. Like, yeah, that was really great.
Even worse when people sometimes acknowledge it and then other times don't.
Yeah.
Like, when they straddle the line on that. That is the worst. Loved this. Reminded me a lot of when Eddie Kingston came in like a wrecking ball on Punk, and Punk just kind of cut his interview. Like, same feel of just, it felt like something organic happened backstage, and then the crew adapted with it. And I loved that. I thought Mackenzie Mitchell threw to this super naturally. Mm-hmm. I said last week I felt like she was really great and comfortable in her role. She continues to grow. I thought this was a really nice example of it. Poor Wendy Chu getting attacked in the parking lot, but
I hope this one
learned the lesson.
I hope this one's a work.
I really hope so.
I hope she's not seriously. I hope she's not actually injured, especially with an elbow injury. Like, because those things could be bad. I hope she's okay, and this is just part of an overall storyline of somebody is attacking all the women of WWE. Like, if it's Tiffany, she's not. They're making it pretty obvious that it's Tiffany. Thomas Scott in the chat is theorizing that's Blair Davenport, which I don't hate.
That would be really fun. Actually,
that's kind of cool. That she's like, that would be a really great way of reintroducing somebody into the mix, as opposed to somebody who's already on screen, somebody who's doing it we don't know. I like that as well.
Especially because we already got Tiffany and Wendy Chu, so it would be cooler if we got Blair Davenport or someone that isn't on screen.
Jambeard correcting me, of course. It's not because the Mountie always gets his man. It's because the Mountie lost the jailhouse match to Boss Man, so have the Mountie be the cell mount. Well, color me unaware of that entire storyline. So sorry about that.
Know your Mountie, bruh.
Yeah, no, yeah. It was one of those things, like years before I started watching wrestling, I was totally aware of Mountie storylines.
Know your history.
Yep.
Know your facts.
No, it's true. Kite High. Hi, Kite.
Hi, Kite High.
You're a new member. So thank you for being a member. That's awesome.
Are you high as a kite? Let us know. Send in a super chat or a humper chat.
There are so many good ones in the chat that aren't being super chatted. Like, I'm going to have to read some of them because they're so good. But I won't credit you. If you want to be credited, you have to send in the super chat.
You are sneaky, and I like it.
It's good.
Well,
so Tiffany and the TikTok tag team backstage. Tiffany's like, I had a Tiffany epiphany. You say it.
I had a Tiffany epiphany.
She said she's going to be a detective, and honestly,
I'm going to be a detective.
I really wanted that. I want to see what Tiffany thinks a detective is. Like, I want her to go through with it. I don't know why.
Inspector Gadget. Do. Toodles. Do. Law and Order.
Like,
I'm Olivia Benson.
Yes, or giant magnifying glass that she just looks through everything.
100%.
You know? Yeah, it'd be really good.
100%. Wait, what was Inspector Gadget's dog's name?
Brian, wasn't it? Or Brain?
Brain.
Brain? Right?
Switch the I and the A. Yeah.
Brian?
Brain.
Brain.
And Penny was the niece.
Yeah.
Brain and I gonna solve crimes. Toodles. And Shawn Michaels is just in his chair petting.
Yep. Yeah. Gotcha. So Night Tracks asks, why do people keep parking at the NXT parking lot? That's very good. Honestly, Tiffany Stratton saying that to the camera. Stay out of the NXT parking lot. I'm like,
I love this woman.
I want that clipped, and I'm gonna play it every time anyone is attacked in the parking lot.
As you should.
Yes, I need to honestly, like I know we have the capability of uploading video and playing clips during the show. I want that clip. I had to find out how to make it and find it and download it and then upload it here. So every time somebody is attacked, which is once every 2 weeks, I will play that clip forever.
Wait, Alex, are you saying that you can just play clips?
Apparently you can.
That's crazy. Like if somebody had some sort of like advertisement, but wasn't on the show, but was contracted to read them.
I suppose, yes. Yep.
We could just play a video?
Yes.
Well, I don't know if I even believe that. That's crazy.
Blue brand, red brand, black and gold, who cares? Bluechew. That's the real blue brand. And listen, if you want to make your paint splat, listen, it doesn't matter. The quality's going to improve with Bluechew. Your sexual performance, harder, stronger erections. Bluechew.com, code Fightful. Prescribed online, shipped straight to your door. Consult with an online physician, and if approved, it comes straight to you. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. Pay $5 shipping. That's it. $5 shipping, and get your first order free when you go to Bluechew.com and use the code Fightful. Have that main event performance. I know you might switch brands, yada yada. Don't do that. Stay with the blue brand. Stay with Bluechew.com, code Fightful.
Well, my God, it works. You could just play a video clip.
This is $1 trillion idea. Detective Tiffany and the Fashion Police. Make that a Netflix show right now.
Yep.
Netflix buy WWE with all of the money you have. Stop throwing it at terrible shows. Buy at WWE with all of your money. $9 billion, that's chump change for you. And then put this on your show. Put this on your network. Do it.
That's it. This is funny. Out of nowhere, the Bluechew ad today.
Sol Ruca defeated Elektra Lopez because Elektra Lopez wanted to use the nooks, but Valentina Feroz had hidden them on her person instead. And then to make sure that Elektra couldn't cheat. And then Elektra lost because she was standing in the one place you can't stand, which is near the turnbuckle facing it. You're not just, here's the deal. You know how you can never lose to Sol Ruca? Stand in the middle of the ring, or better yet, lay down in the middle of the ring. Because,
yes, but we've been doing this with Rey Mysterio for decades, right?
Well, at least we
got to agent it to look natural.
He puts he drop toe holds them into the ropes.
It's true. You gotta. The match has to be better produced to make
just whatever.
If you're standing, don't stand there. That's the.
Don't stand there. But anyway, she lost to the Soul Snatcher, which is great. Hold on, there was one here. What somebody wrote, which I loved. Soul Plane.
Oh,
Sol Ruca, Soul Plane. Very good. Afterwards, Elektra Lopez was very angry at Valentina Feroz for hiding her prized brass knucks. and costing her the match. So she shoves Valentina Feroz into the ropes, where she puts on the brass knuckles. You know what you probably shouldn't do is pick a fight with a woman who you know is holding brass knuckles.
There it is.
If you know for a fact this woman is holding brass knuckles, perhaps don't pick a fight with her.
Not the savviest move on her part. I thought this was pretty good considering, especially where these two are in their careers.
Yeah.
Because Miss Lopez, has been on NXT for months. Her focus was more storyline focused than being in the ring. So good to see that. And Sol Ruca's like coming in hot, man. Good to see. This was had some moments where things just felt a little off or stiff, but considering I thought this was decent, and I think Valentina Feroz, from what we've seen out of her, is really good. So if the next step is Elektra and her, which seems like a reasonable feud, I'm looking forward to that. But this was another thing that just had like an ending that made sense in the story. Ta-da!
So making sense. It's odd that you bring that up because the next thing was a Gallus vignette, and I don't have any idea. Mark Coffey saying to basically amping up Wolfgang so he wants to beat up Pretty Deadly more. Is it like, was Wolfgang not upset by what happened last week? He was like willing to let it slide, but that honestly, I couldn't understand a word he said. So I'm assuming like it felt like Wolfgang was just content to shoot pool in the one Scottish pub in Orlando. And he's just going to do that just forever. But Mark Coffey's like, hey, Wolfgang goes, and then Mark's like, and then Wolfgang like I don't know, breaks a pool cue or something. He's like, and so we're gonna get the Pretty Deadly versus Gallus. Also, Pretty Deadly is an interview backstage, and they're like, "Ew, I'm wearing overalls," and it's like whatever. And then they show him a tweet from Drew McIntyre.
This is what I needed to talk about.
Why is this a thing? Oh, you're in big trouble now, says a guy on the main roster.
Alex, the picture that they used of Drew was with his sword.
I know.
I was like, why do we have just this guy on the... Hey, these guys are all from the UK. Isn't that neat? Was a weird thing. And then the graphic was so big because it was on the Titantron screen, and the sword just like cut across. And I was like, didn't we move on from the sword?
No, the sword was
no
in
offense
forever.
To Angela, but oh man, that was weird. All that was weird. Good in-ring stuff today.
Thank you for helping me out here. They were saying they'd known each other since kids, and they don't like Pretty Deadly.
But like, all right.
Yeah. The second part, I feel like we could assume. The first part is some new information, but all right. Thank you.
But I don't know if it warranted like this whole segment.
Right. Yes. Yeah. So Tiffany has a match with Katana Chase, who asked for the match. Katana what? Chase?
Don't put her in Chase you.
Chance Zero.
Katana Chance.
Yeah. No, Kachances. Can't chances. Japanese sword. Luck of the draw. I mean, like, I don't know what you wanted.
Japanese sword. Luck of the draw.
There you go. So Japanese sword asks for the match. And so they have the match, and Tiffany wins. And it's a good little match, and Tiffany looks great, and I'm happy that she's back from injury, and I hope they're not doing this too early. she calls out. She says, "Whoever wins next week between Meiko Satomura and there are 2 more puns to 69.
We need either 2 or 102 more.
Yep.
I will accept no more or less.
Okay. So Tiffany says, "Whoever wins next week, Meiko or Roxanne, I'm coming for you." So I guess we can assume Tiffany gets the title shot at Stand and Deliver. I feel like it's too early for Roxanne to lose unless they're bringing her up right after Mania. She's good enough and ready enough that she could do that, but it feels like it's too early in her reign for her to lose. And I don't think Tiffany, when she gets a title shot, should lose that title shot. I think when she faces Roxanne, she should beat her the first time she faces her.
Yes,
that's just how I would book Tiffany Stratton. Like I feel like you could figure out a way to keep her away from Roxanne until it's time for Roxanne to drop it, and then you get Tiffany to Roxanne, and Tiffany wins, like declaratively says, "I'm it now." I don't want Tiffany Stratton losing the title match, and I don't think it's time yet for Roxanne to lose the strap. So it's like I don't trust HBK at all. So I think this is going to be a really ridiculous finish that's going to lead to umpteen rematches, and they're going to carry this thing out until SummerSlam, and they don't need to do that.
I think they might do a triple threat because they love doing that
that's true.
At plays that have any importance behind them. And I actually don't hate that idea because it does feel like that's a fair way to capitalize on the momentum Tiffany Stratton is building. But to have Roxanne win, you throw someone else in there. Maybe that's where Blair Davenport comes back. Maybe Meiko is sticking around, and that's a really fun way to get her on a WrestleMania card. There's a lot of ways you can go. This is a rare situation because I don't like triple threats because I think if you're a face and agree to one, you're an idiot. Or I mean, really, if you're anybody, like, let's make it harder for me to win. But this is a rare situation where for the talent, I think that might be a really good call. Or they'll probably do something where Tiffany Stratton loses via somebody else coming out to set up a thing.
God, I hate when they do that.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, this match, the big reason Casey Catanzaro loses is because Alba Fire and Isla Dawn come out, who are actively feuding with another tag team right now. Like, it's just like the witch and her pyromaniac friend are actively feuding with Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley, but want to get involved in this too.
Not great.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah. We're now at 71 puns, I believe.
Whoa.
We went too far. We went too far.
No, we just have to get to 169.
Yeah,
Pony up, cowards.
There we go. Chris Mueller says, "This is for Maggie. Alba Fire, walk with me."
Very nice.
Very good. Tom LaValle says, "There's Jake something about Maurice." That was number 70. Malachi Black Christmas from the Electric Mayhem.
Very good.
Jambeard says, "Wayne's World Championship Wrestling." That's very good.
World loves world.
Yeah, Chris Mueller's the 69th pun was the Nikita Lyons, the Witch in the Wardrobe.
Well done. Well done.
I think, Nikita Lyons, and then the Witch is Isla Dawn, and the Wardrobe is Tiffany Stratton.
Sure.
There you go.
That lines up.
That's a faction right there. Like, they call themselves the Lions, the Witch,
and the Wardrobe.
And the Wardrobe. Very good. Also, we'll accept the Lions, the Witch, and the Wardlow.
Oh, perfect.
Also will accept that. Izzy05 says Adam Sandler's Big Daddy V. Ricardo says Gargano escaped from LA. How dare you? Gargano escaped from New York. Trish Adora the Explorer.
Escaped from New York. Trish Adora.
Trish Adora, that's great.
We don't get a lot of independent wrestlers in our puns. I respect
that's a great
it.
one. That's a great one. But how dare you escape from LA? Escape from New York. JW Pringle, Big ET.
Oh, that's excellent. It's right there. Love
it. Larry B. Dupree says Minorudi. I like that. Minorudi. Electric Mayhem says Dodgeballs Mahoney.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent.
Ricardo helping out Gemini season, putting us to Wingmen Can't Jump.
The Pretty Peter had a match today. I have to go back and watch it.
JW Pringle says Jake the Snakes on a Plane Roberts.
Very good.
Electric Mayhem, I love this one. B. Brian Blair Witch Project. B. Brian Blair is such a great name to pull out of the ether.
Wow,
so
that is a
B.
deep
Brian
cut.
Blair. That's a deep cut. B. Brian Blair Witch Project. This is very good. Ricardo, go to Sleepless in Seattle.
Choose your poison. Is it Kenta? Is it CM Punk?
Right.
Either way, them being in that movie is fantastic.
Michael Grooms, George of the Jungle Boy.
Very nice.
Strong as he can be. Larry B. Dupree says Air Buddy Murphy.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Brutus the Barbershop Beefcake from Chris Pereira. Meat Norma says Smokey and the Kid Bandit. That's good.
Very good.
Chris Mueller says Leon Ruff, the professional.
Very nice.
Shot Kid says Finn and Loathing in Full Sail. Shot Kid says Lash Legend of Zorro.
Very nice.
Ricardo says Kenny Omega Zord Sky Blue Ranger Chelsea Green Ranger.
Very good. Can't argue with that.
Luis Villarreal says Love Potion number 619.
Booyaka!
The Amish Electrician says A Clockwork Orange Cassidy Pile Driving Miss Daisy. Pile Driving Miss Daisy. Sounds like a different. Whatever you do, do not Google that.
If you need to pile drive Miss Daisy, Bluechew.com code Fightful. Just pay shipping.
Pile Driving Miss Daisy.
That's real good.
Now I'm just picturing it starring Morgan Freeman and Jessica Tandy, and I can't. I'm sorry.
It's great.
Sorry. Jambeard says Children of the Cornet. Chris Pereira says Super Mario and Luigi Primo. RH says St. Alba's Fire. St. Alba's Fire is a fantastic show.
Holy cow. Yep.
St. Alba's Fire, and I believe those were back to back to back. Back to back to back Jack. A Bobby Fish called Wanda from JW Pringle. And
Bobby Fish, whose match I'm calling at Excite Wrestling this Saturday? Next Saturday? Soon.
At some point during the match, you have to make this reference.
Of course.
A Bobby Fish called Wanda.
I can do that.
Yeah,
I've done weirder.
Yep. Bam Bam Deuce Bigelow. Wizard of Smoke. Larry Bree Dupree says the Horse Lawyer Whisperer.
I like that one because it's lore of the show.
Yes, that's great. The Nerd Guru says Top Guys Maverick.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Larry B. Dupree says Jushin Tropic Thunder Liger. Oh, so good.
That's really good.
Yeah. And also Luis saying Top Gun Drake Maverick.
That's excellent.
That's good. Thank you, Luis. Ricardo saying Slap Jackie Robinson. Really I believe the name of that movie was 42, but I'm there with you. Nerd Guru says Hook.
Writes itself.
Dante NYC says Wardlow of the Worlds. CO says Stone Cold Steve Austin Powers International Man of What?
Oh my gosh.
What?
Right there.
Tom LaValle decided to throw 12 of these things in one humper chat. Harry Potter and the Robert Stone. Harry Potter and the Elimination Chamber of Secrets, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Alba Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of Beth Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince Devitt, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hollies Molly Crash and Hardcore. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hollies is great.
That's really good.
That's an all-timer of a pun that you found ones for all of them. That's very, very good. Or you could also have done, instead of Robert Stone, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Right.
That is true.
Valab says, if you're a fan of foreign films, y tu mami tambien.
23-month member.
Hank Walker was interviewed for some reason. I don't know why they picked him out. Literally everybody else in the entire roster was punching each other backstage. Like, hey, Hank Walker. So you were trying to get out there and get a number one contender shot for the Answer the Open Challenge. What's up with that? It's like, oh yeah, I was trying to. And then Axiom runs up. It's like, hey, why did you kick me in the face? I was trying to kick Drew Gulak. I'm really sorry. Look, man, I'm really sorry that I'm so sorry. Axiom, literally, I'm so sorry that my errant kick prevented you from answering the Open Challenge. Like you were going to win. What did you say to me, punk? What did you say? Like, it was really funny how he was like so apologetic. And then the Axiom said like one tiny thing and he was like, I'm going to murder you. And then Axiom had a match with Hank Walker.
It was pretty good.
It was decent. Hank Walker did some interesting stuff. Like, I feel like when you got a guy that big, you should be putting him in there with guys Axiom size so they can just like, they can show off how strong they are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just like, just do that. And he's enough of a veteran that he can make sure the match goes the right way for the younger kid. That's what they should be doing.
He's simply a kid. How dare you?
Yeah.
Is the magic on for you now that he has gear?
It's because it's bad gear.
No, it's just because it's gear. It doesn't. He could come out with Hiromu's New Japan look from a couple years ago.
It's a really bad looking singlet. He doesn't have elbow pads or wrist tape.
It's not great.
It's a really bad gear. If they gave him like good gear, I wouldn't. It would. I think they went from, hey, it's funny, right? Because this guy. You're all in on the joke, right? This guy he wrestles in the same pair of jeans and shirt. Okay, so we've run that gag into the ground. So what if we give him the most bland singlet ever? How long do you think we could run that into the ground for? Like 6 weeks? Okay, cool. It's just dumb.
I work in creative voice. Yeah. It's just like a beautiful contrast to Sean's I'm a nerd mark voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if we had like good gear that would be better, but now he's a wrestler who has gear. What fun is that? And it's not different than the same outfit every day. So it's a double loss for me. But he's all right considering he was Hank Walker, the security guard. He did fine in this.
Right.
Yeah, this was perfectly fine.
This is the problem, is that he's just there's not doing enough to really like differentiate. It's a big deal. I think it should be a big deal that a guy who was a security guard is now a contracted wrestler, and it feels like that's like not a big deal. You know what I mean? Like that separates him from everybody else, but it doesn't because they're not separating him from everybody else. You know what I mean? And I don't know.
He should be the one that beat up Wendy Chu in the parking lot. Like the security guard who's abandoned his post to become a wrestler should know every weakness of the remaining security and be beating people's ass in the parking lot.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Chris Mueller says Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Boom Boom Cabana. He says, okay, I'm done now. I don't believe it.
No.
Nerd Guru says Justice League.
Oh, it's instead of Justice League?
It's the Justice League. The Yas. I'm never gonna not call them the Yas. And one of my great achievements in being myself, and allowing a little bit of that to sneak into the Wednesday night show with Sean is that he calls them Yas as well.
See, he you listen to me, all right? Sean Sapp.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Sean Ross Sapp, all right?
Yep.
He pretends that he doesn't like this gimmick. He pretends he doesn't like to get sour. And yet it's Sean Ross Sapp who's saying things like yes, who's coming on this show as other YPTS characters, who's doing puns on the Wednesday nights.
Yep.
He's a fraud.
Yeah.
Thanks for paying me. Today was payday. I appreciate it.
It's good. Lump Beef Broth says, why does Hank Walker look like an amalgamation of Seth Rogen and Bill DeMott?
I can see it.
I definitely see
there's a sprinkle of Kevin Owens in there.
True.
A dash.
Possibly.
Just a dash.
Apparently, Scripps was in the background while Axiom was on the ramp. And Luis said he noticed this about 20 minutes after the match. I missed it as well.
I did not notice.
We'll have to see if he shows up so we could maybe we could ask him what's up with that, or
that would be nice if we can talk to him at some point.
It could be
nice. But oh my gosh, Scripps!
I was just passing through Orlando and I thought I'd just take in the show, and I couldn't find my seat, so I was just like, hey, I'm looking for row C, seat 12. And an usher told me to stand over there, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be in the shot. So,
no, that's okay. We missed you on the show. How are you?
I'm not allowed to be on the show anymore. Apparently, Shawn Michaels he's very upset with me. So I don't know. I raised a bit of a stink after the whole
going to Paris thing.
Yeah, I thought I was supposed to be in Paris. Elimination Chamber, and I wasn't able to be there, so I was very, very angry, and I took all my frustrations out on Sean, and he says I'm not allowed to be on the show. So
you know what? Sometimes I take my frustrations out on my boss Sean too. I was just shooting on him a minute ago.
Listen, Sean's, am I right? If your name is named Sean, you're just terrible. You're just awful.
You're just
nobody likes you. But
anyway,
did you
need any water? You good? You're right over there.
I don't know how that would work personally, but okay, sure.
No, it's just an offer. You don't have. Right.
Pass me some water through space and time. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, it's lovely.
I'm glad. I'm glad. They did the same thing to Chelsea Green. Did you hear about that? She was supposed to be
right. She was supposed to be in Canada in the Great White North, and they shipped her off to Ottawa, Illinois. And let me tell you, if you've been passing through there, it's just it's not great. It's just a lot of just gray, not much else.
Yeah, it's not a particularly exciting adventure, I don't think.
Nope.
Scripps, I hear you've been on Level Up though.
Yep, that's what they. I've been on the Level Up. It's a decent little show. There's some kids down there I like working with. But listen, we all know my true destiny is to be the NXT World Champion.
Of course.
That's why they brought me back. I mean, listen, you don't bring back a man in his late 70s and teach him how to do moonsaults just to put him on the B show. You bring him back for a reason. At least that's what I assumed.
Are you having creative frustration? It feels like maybe they just brought you back to dig into your BOA collection.
It's possible, I mean, like that Tiffany Stratton's been looking around at my wardrobe the whole time, trying to see what she wants to take, and I'm like, listen, Missy, I think you're really talented and everything, but if you want to use the boas, that's going to cost you. It's a rental fee, because those things are expensive. What I could get on eBay for those boas.
I was just gonna say, you saw them at the airport or on eBay.
It's true. So, Anyway.
Sure. Well, we always appreciate you stopping by. I'm sorry that you're kind of in this weird spot right now.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I'm sure the whole thing will blow over after HBK comes out of retirement and super kicks that Aussie boys face off.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe then he and I can sit down. We can discuss our future here in the business.
I think that's fair. Any thoughts about maybe the North American title while you're waiting on the world title? You think you want to make that the Minnesota title or anything? Midwest title?
Listen, there's nothing more north in America than Minnesota.
All right. I respect it. Maybe like a little Mall of America side plate might be nice.
That's true. There's that. Also, I want to make sure if I win, I want to represent all of the 1,000 lakes on the belt somewhere.
Of course,
So
individually.
Yeah. All each of the 1,000 lakes is on there. So
that's
anyway,
I really like that idea.
Okay. Well,
I don't want to be controversial here, but do you think that perhaps your booking is a symptom of some sort of conspiracy theory against you?
It's possible. You know, I mean, it's possible. It's like the COVID lab leak that's been confirmed now. It was a conspiracy theory, but now it's been confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the whole thing. Just like Princess Di is still alive. That's been confirmed. So
it has. Interesting. Okay,
it's true. Well, it's confirmed by me. I saw her down at the Mall of America last week. Anyway, I gotta go. So I'm gonna leave now. All right.
Love you more than a bunch of candles in the wind. Hang in there. We summoned him.
Thank you.
You'd never know.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I never know what happens when he shows up. But
yeah, it's wild. I'll catch you up off air.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Anyway, HBK responded via tweet to Grayson Waller calling him out, saying, "Regrettably, I will appear on the Grayson Waller Effect next week." And Grayson Waller responded to his response by basically coming out and saying it. "I want you to come out of retirement and face me in a match." And holy shit, do I hope that does not happen. A couple of years ago, we saw what happens when Shawn Michaels tries to come out of retirement. Did not go well.
Wasn't great.
And B, Grayson Waller does not deserve that honor. I'm sorry.
No, and even from a character perspective, it should be mellow, I feel like.
Yes. If anyone in NXT was going to get that, and I agree. Let me be clear. Nobody should, because HBK shouldn't. But it shouldn't be Grayson Waller. He's already did the thing with Johnny Gargano, and they did nothing with that. So, this is the thing is I think that he wants HBK to come out, and HBK is going to say no, but you'll face this guy instead. And the guy will be Dragon Lee in his debut, or Johnny Gargano will face Grayson Waller at Stand and Deliver, because Johnny Gargano's got no plans for WrestleMania. But Johnny Gargano coming back to NXT for one match at their biggest show of the year, that's something you can hang your hat on. And that closes up the loophole of the first thing I talked about, which was they had Grayson Waller write Johnny Gargano out of NXT and then never did anything with it. This would be doing something with it. So, that would be, honestly, that's my preference. I love Dragon Lee. I don't know why he would be, this doesn't make sense to me as the spot where you debut him. I would debut him in the North American title ladder match and let him fucking win it. That's how I would debut Dragon Lee. I wouldn't debut him in this spot. But
sometimes we think about
as long as it's not
HBK.
As long as it's not HBK. Please don't let it be HBK.
Oh, for a few reasons, really.
For lots of reasons.
Mostly.
Holy crap, we lost Kate. I don't think this is a Scripps thing either. I think she just went away. She's just gone. Kate, come back. Come back, Kate. We have to go back, Kate. Kate, we have to go back. Is that a good Jack impression? All right, she's gone. She's gone. I'm going to see this by myself. There we go. So that's where we are here. Boop-a-doo. Do-do-do. Just me sitting here. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Doing good. All right, it's just me now. So she's gone. Jambeard says the HBK Waller storyline is just going to be a reuse of Seth versus Cody at Mania, where Sean tells Waller he'll have a mystery opponent at Stand and Deliver. Probably true. I think you're probably right. I think that'll be it, Jam. I think it will. We have more puns, and I'm going to read them. Is she coming back? You coming back, Kate? Kate! We have to go back, Kate! We have to go back! That was me doing a Lost impression. I did that when you left.
We're back?
Yeah, we're back. Are we back?
I'm back.
Yes, you're back.
I made it. It was weird. I don't know what happened. That weird wasn't internet. That was my computer. Huh.
It's too weird.
Interesting.
Okay, so all right. So we got a great main event, lessened by the dumb finish, which is what happens. This match was awesome because Tyler Bate and Carmelo Hayes are awesome. It is a pet peeve of mine more and more as I get older. When a guy is as talented and obviously great in the ring as Carmelo Hayes is, and as a lot of guys are, I just want to see them be booked to win the match without the help of their stooge at ringside. He doesn't need it. He's not the Miz. He's too good to need help from Trick Williams. He's too good. There's no way this match would have been lessened if he had just beaten Tyler Bate. And I would argue it doesn't hurt Tyler Bate to lose clean to Carmelo Hayes, because Carmelo Hayes, we all assume, is the next NXT champion. This match and Tyler Bate losing clean to Carmelo Hayes then sets up in the future a title program between Tyler Bate and Carmelo Hayes, where Tyler Bate wants one more shot because you beat me last time. You were better than me on that night. I know I can be the better man on a different night when that title's on the line. That's how you build a title shot. Like, I just never understand. It becomes like it's a fait accompli. It's an obvious thing. Trick Williams being out there means he 100% will get involved. It's just a matter of how much he gets involved.
It's also it's countered to the character. So that's the part where it really annoys me, is if somebody is, it bugs me with Swerve in AEW. If somebody is that confident and cocky and arrogant, like, he kind of shouldn't need anybody else's help. I get it with an MJF because he's insecure. Like, yes, his bravado is false. I view Carmelo's as real. And even with MJF, we eventually get to him wrestling without any BS, right? We eventually get to this Iron Man match or whatever. So even if that's kind of your default for matches, that it's just the only thing we get is Trick's involvement. And I feel like it's, with a character like this, it should be the least. All for heels cheating, all for heels having henchmen, but it just feels counterintuitive to the character for it to be a crutch and not something that is used sparingly. And it desensitizes you to Trick's involvement as well, because it's now expected. So it's a matter of when, not a matter of if, which also makes Trick less valuable as well, in my opinion. So, in addition to everything you said, I also just kind of feel like it doesn't make sense for the heel that Carmelo is, because he's not a chicken shit. He's confident. He's
Right.
cocky. He's barely a heel at this point. Like everybody's rooting for him. Like this was more a match between a couple of faces. So
Yeah.
I agree with you. It's kind of a bummer that it takes that interference because it also takes away from what was a really good match. Like we see that happen a lot on NXT. I feel like.
Yeah.
This was awesome. This was a barn burner until that.
Yes. Yeah. It just, I don't know. Just the idea of Tyler Bate gets on the top rope and then Trick Williams stands on the apron. So he kicks him off. Just sit there and let Trick Williams hit you. You win.
That's it.
You win the match. You get the pay. You get the winner's purse. You get the winner's purse of the pay. Like the idea of that is just so dumb. Like, oh, he was going to hit you, but you kicked him first. So play on. And now you, because of that split-second distraction,
Also,
you're dumb enough to miss your top rope maneuver. I don't know. I always feel like it just. Blah.
It also makes every face look dumb because it always happens and nobody ever evens the numbers game.
Right.
Nobody brings someone to equalize Trick.
Yeah.
It is not like Trick is a huge heavy.
Right. That's true. Yeah. But this was a really great match up until the thing. And
really
it didn't ruin the match. Like it just makes me go, and I don't want to feel that way when I'm watching Tyler Bate versus Carmelo Hayes. I don't want to fetch a sigh from deep within me because the same old bullshit tropes get trotted out. I want to just watch the match and love it. Yeah. So
I don't want to fetch a sigh.
From deep
I want to
within
fetch a sigh from deep within me.
Techno Team America World Police.
It's like two of my favorite things in the whole wide world.
I know you'd like that one. I knew you'd like that one. So here we go. We got a lot of these left to do, and I promised to read some that weren't actually super chatted. I'm not going to give you credit.
You know what it's time for?
What?
The lightning round.
There you go. Nerd Guru says Justice League. We got that one already. Adam says see no evil Uno. JW Pringle says you can't handle the truth. CO says Ace Austin Pet Detective.
Love.
Chris Pereira says movie scripts.
Like scripts? Like
yeah. There you go.
Why?
Yeah, why? Tom LaValle says Roosh Hour. And Lucha Step Brothers, which I like a lot.
Oh, that rules.
I do love that. No. Now I need Penta and Phoenix to star in the scene where they go. We become best friends. I need that. Now I need that specifically.
Underrated scene in that. Pam or Pan? Pam.
CO says The Godfather.
Oh, perfect. Writes itself.
Also, the Mercedes Money Train.
Oh, of course.
Money. Also in our Step Lucha Brothers thing, when they say, "Look, so much room for activities," they should just start doing flips off of everything.
It's just Ray Phoenix.
It's just Ray Phoenix doing flips off the walls. So much room for activities. Chris Mueller says, "Okay, one more." I knew he wasn't done. Barton Finkel. Julian Yeager says SLCM Punk. Do you SLC Punk? Say it's a I don't even know how to describe it. It's a drama from the late 90s starring Matt Lillard as a punk guy in Salt Lake City, Utah.
I don't know it.
But it's SLC Punk, and this is SLCM Punk. Perfect, honestly. Ricardo says Star Wars: A New Hope spot. Chris Pereira says Hot Tag Time Machine. That's really good.
Ooh.
Hot Tag Time Machine is really good. The United Empire Strikes Back. From Tyler Valley. CO says the girl with the dragon chew tattoo. Meet Norma says how Stella got her boogs back. And Xavier Cabin in the Woods. Chris Pereira says Bray Wyatt Earp.
Very good. Took me a second.
And Jaden Pringle says, deep cut here, Captain EO Albano.
That's pretty excellent.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Jambeard says, ready to rumble.
Perfect.
And Chris Pereira with Blackpool Fight Club. That's kind of obvious.
That's basically what it was.
Here's some that I starred. Honey, I Shrunk a Kid. Morgan Jacob Freeman.
That's excellent.
Walking Tall Paul. Rocky Horror Picture Big Show.
Excellent.
Shark Boy NATO. The
Amazing.
Legend of Bagger Mance Warner. My Best Fiend's Wedding. Can't Hardly Wyatt. Tales from the Scraps.
Yes.
Teenage Muda Ninja Turtles.
That's excellent.
The Amazing Spider Mantar.
Very good.
Big Top P WLC. Debbie Does Bo Dallas. And a Chris Jericho feud, aka The Never Ending Story.
That's it.
Yeah. That's really
That's
good.
perfect.
That's really good. All right. And we have one thing in the jukebox, Kate.
We do.
Yep. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotfest Mind. That's very good. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotfest Mind is really good. I really like that a lot. I want to keep that in my head for like the title of something. Jukebox Jambeard, because he asked me about Joey Cocker before, wants me to impersonate Joe Cocker while doing the facial things and the hand movements, which is hard because you can't really. All right.
It's tricky.
But wants me to do all of that while singing AK's theme song. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, we got more. LA Parks and Recreation.
Louise, stop paying.
Beetlejuice Robinson. And also, one. Here we go. 10 Things I Hate About Yuta.
That's very good.
Jambeard says Alex Paw Patrolowski. Julie Cutler Throat Island. 51st Kates. Very good. All right, here we go. Joe Cocker, I guess. Doing HBK's thing. Here we go. I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I got the look that drives good. Wow. I got the moves. Really, I'm like Bobcat Goldthwait. I'm not really good at doing a Joe Cocker thing. I'm not really good at that. I got the moves that really move them. I said chill up and down their spine. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm just a sexy boy. So terrible. Oh, so terrible.
I feel like
it's so terrible.
Somebody should request the Linda doing that. I think
somebody should request. I think somebody should request the Linda doing Joe Cocker.
You like to challenge yourself, and I respect that.
No, Linda doing Joe Cocker makes sense. Linda doing Joe Cocker songs makes perfect sense. I think we should do. Jerry Pringle says, "Call an ambulance. Alex is having a spell again." See, he specifically asked for the faces and the movements.
He did in the chat. I saw
that. So it's true. Finn Balor sings A Boy Named Sue. Okay. Here we go.
Great profile picture, by the way.
When my daddy left home when I was 3, didn't leave much to mod me. His old guitar, an empty bottle of booze. I don't blame him because he'd run and hid. But the meanest thing he ever did was before he left, he let him name me Sue. Well, he might have thought it was quite a joke. He got a lot of laughs from a lot of folks. but seems to fight my whole life through. Some gal would giggle and I'd get red, and some guy would laugh and I'd bust his head. I tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Sue. He was a bad father.
For naming you that? Mm-hmm.
For naming me that, yes, it's true. It's true, he was. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. That's so good. Hold on, I got it. I got it, Louise. Don't worry about it. Joe. Here we go. Okay. All right. All right. Hold on. Here we go. What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears, I'll sing you a song. I'll try not to sing out of key. Yeah, oh baby, I get by with a little help from my friends. All I need is my buddies. Try with a little help from my friends. I said I'm gonna get high. High with a little help from my friends. Oh yeah. What do I do when my love is away? Does it worry you to be alone? No. How do I feel at the end of the day? Am I sad because I'm on my own? No. I don't get sad no more. I get by with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna get by with a little help from my friends, because it's like you and Brenda and Angela and Mona and all the girls we go walking down at the mall.
Oh, most of them, but some of them I'm not so sure if they're friends anymore, to be honest.
I get by.
You get by. You get by.
Get a little help from my friends.
Of course.
It's not like I'm so thrilled to see Brenda, but we get by.
Of course.
We get by. I think that's the whole song, though. It's mostly just repeating itself here.
Oh.
Would you believe in love at first sight? I'm certain that it happens all the time. It happened with me and with husbands 1, 3, and 7.
Yes. Not 4, but close.
What do you see when you turn off the light is what they're asking me. Well, nothing, because it's dark.
I mean, that's just a silly question to put in the middle of a song. It makes no sense.
Is that like a trick question? Is that one of those trick questions?
One of those Trick Williams questions?
It's one of those Trick Williams questions, honestly. It's true. All right, I believe it's it. Listen, there are other people named Angela and Mona. Okay, was it of smoke? You think that Angela and Mona are the only two, that those two are the only two Angelas and Monas?
No. You can ask her. They live in a house with a guy named Tony.
Right.
Okay.
But like that,
he's always running the vacuum.
It's true. That Angela and Mona live in a house with a fella named Tony. Our Angela and Mona live in a house with a fella named Anthony. It's a completely different thing.
Completely different.
It's completely different. And I'll thank you not to make comparisons.
No, and Angela also is a nickname. She goes by Judith Light as her birth name. Completely different.
Completely different.
Let's go to bed.
Everybody, please, 2 things this week. Show up on Friday, noonish Eastern time.
You have homework.
To watch us review a horrible movie called Theodore Rex, starring Whoopi Goldberg. She sued people so she wouldn't have to be in it. We're going to review that on Know Your News channel. You can find that very easily. Subscribe to it, whatever. Then also, it's Revolution this weekend. Kate and I will be reviewing that on Fightful Select after the show. It should be a lot of fun.
And please watch our ROH post show on Thursday. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say because we don't know fully when it ends because it's not on cable television, right? So just if you're watching and you see it probably around between 8 and 8:30, I would guess if they're sticking with the 1 hour format, we'll be on before the Impact show, and we're going to try and be out by then. So if you could support it, it would mean the world to me. It's my favorite brand of wrestling, and we get to keep it around if you guys are nice to us. So
That's right.
Plus, I've never streamed with Reg before. That should be really fun. So
That should be a hoot and a half.
Hoot.
All right. Keep cool, gabagools.
Toodles.